Hey everyone, thank you for joining me today. Happy Monday, if there is such a thing. Hope you're doing well and had a good weekend. Looks like we've got hello from Argentina, Sweden. Hello, thanks for joining us. Uh, where else? London. Great to see you. Hey, I think today I'm going to work on one of these tables because what I'd like to do is get one of them done and then kind of duplicate them around the room here to kind of get a sense of how I'm going to arrange things, what the layout of the tables are going to be. I think maybe if this is where you go through the cafeteria, maybe there'll be like doors here and doors over here, and maybe windows over here, and maybe this is just a interior wall, something like that. But I think uh, I was looking at these, and these are cool, but they're going to require tubes. And I don't know, that doesn't seem to be, I mean, I can do it, it's just, it seems it may add extra polys that I don't really need to do that. Whereas this looks like these are just cubes here. And I think I'm going to go with this one here. So I'll just make one and then duplicate them all around here. And the nice thing about this one here is that, let me hit Control up arrow here, is that if I mirror this over, it looks like I just mirror one side and the other one will come along. So I think I may go with this one. It just looks like it's going to be a little bit easier. And for something like this, easy is good. So I think I'll go with it. Julian says, our teacher makes us watch your tutorials when we get stuck on something. I'm so sorry. I really am sorry about that. Your name is Legend. Wow. All right. Well, I'll take that. That's awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Would Archimesh work for something like that? Yeah, it would. It would. I'm not sure what kind of. I'm pretty sure it would, yeah. Hello from Mount Diablo. I don't know where that is. Slovakia, Netherlands, welcome. And South Africa, awesome. Thank you for joining us. And from Spain, hello. Cool. Well, as I said, I think I'm just going to work on this today and see if I can get one of those modeled, and then let's put a few of them around the room and see how it looks. So for this, I think I'm going to begin with these top pieces. I'm just going to create a cube here, but I want to mirror this around. Well, I'll mirror it across the x-axis here. So I'll move this over here like this. And let's get this like this. So I'm just making one side of this table here. This I don't need anymore. I don't think I'm going to do that. So I'll just keep this one up right here. So I just want that top piece right about like this, and I think that's good. These have to be fairly long. I really don't have a measurement on this. I'm just gonna go by how it feels, and I think that's good because this is, whoa, this is in the end, it's all creative and artwork and everything. So, we don't have to get too I can't even say it. Specific. All right. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and mirror this over. Add modifier, mirror, and I'm going to mirror in the x-axis. And I'm not seeing it, therefore, oh, I know what I did wrong. In fact, let's go ahead and fix that now. It's currently mirroring around the pivot point. So I need to move the pivot point to the 3D cursor where it's currently in the center of the grid, right? If I hit Shift C, it'll be in the center of the grid. So I'm going to move that origin to the 3D cursor, and there is my mirrored object. Okay, so that helped. I'm going to take this and move it. Well, I better tab into edit mode and grab all of those faces and move it into the center just a bit like that. So they look like they're pretty close, maybe not that close. Let's go with that. Okay, so now I'm going to turn on the edit cage so I can see the other side as well when I go into edit mode. So there's our two pieces right there. I'm going to move that up and maybe even scale it in the Y just a little bit more. Something like that. That feels pretty good right there. Okay. So now maybe these pieces underneath, maybe we could do that. How should we do that? I think what I'll do, I can't remember how I did the last time, but if I took this and duplicated it and moved it in the Z and then scaled it up a bit, so it's something like that. Now I'll scale it down. My problem is I can't scale. If I scale down, notice it's going to go like this, right, from that center point. And I have that center point because I'm mirroring it over to the other side. And that's fine, but what we can do is tab into edit mode and move the cursor to that face, and then I can scale around the 3D cursor here. So now if I take this thing and scale it in a bit, it'll scale a little bit better, perhaps like this, but that other one's coming along and I don't want that. All right, I think now's a good time to say dang it. All right, what I'm going to do is go ahead and break the mirror for now. Don't need that, and I'll bring it back as needed. So I'm going to put the origin back into the center of the geometry and move that cursor with Shift C, and now we can work with this a little bit better. So as I said, I'll duplicate and move it down. I'm going to scale it a bit, scale it down a hair, like so. There we go. Now I can take these faces here and delete them like I did the last table, I believe. Now I can maybe bring in a solidify modifier here. Even thickness, and it doesn't look too bad. Although, let me see if I can get this. Yeah, see, these are not exactly even thickness. And let me apply the scale here. There we go. That helped. So now the even thickness works. Applying scale just is amazing. It fixes an amazing number of things. All right, so I'm going to bring that back up. Whoops. Like so. Okay, so now we've got this piece. Okay, I'll go ahead and apply that solidify modifier. And then I want to delete the top faces there. So I want to hit the, what is this? It's the division key on the numpad, and that'll just show me this piece. And now I'm going to Alt-click between two of the faces and delete faces. And now I can hit that division key again and bring everything else back. All right. So it feels like this is a little too thick. I'll fix that while I'm here and move this back up. So there we go. All right, so there's that piece. Now these other pieces look like they're just cubes, and that's why I kind of like this, because they look like they're just cubes, and I'm just gonna, I don't have to use a whole lot of polys for this. I'm just going through and seeing what's going on out here. Is there any reason to not apply the scale? There is a reason to not apply scale when you're dealing with characters and rigging. So once you begin rigging, and also the scale of the bones, you don't want to apply the scale for the scale of the bones as you're adjusting bones within a character. But yeah, is there ever a time like when you're just creating a table like this that you wouldn't want to apply the scale? It's not coming to mind currently. There may be a reason, but I'm not thinking of it at this point in time. But that's a good question. Could you make a tutorial blend to normal maps with Blender internal, like bake normal from high poly to low poly with Blender internal, huh? Why use Blender internal? Why not just use cycles for the bake? I mean, I could, I guess, but I haven't done it in years. Ever since cycles came out, that's all I use. Yeah, but that's certainly something to look into. Yeah. All right. Let's begin working on this here. I'm going to create a cube, and I will delete the top and bottom faces. Don't need those. And I'm going to scale it down and get it in place right here for that leg. So scale it way down, scale it up, and let's see if we can put this in place here. I'm going to go to the top and find kind of where it should be. I think it looks like it should be kind of like that. See how it a little bit farther in there. Something like that maybe. All right, and now let's go here. It looks like it's not tall enough, doesn't it? That's kind of a small table. So I'm going to need to make this a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, I think. Let's see how tall. You know what I should do is bring back my scale dude. Here we go. So here's a 6 foot tall person right here. So this is actually good. Let me figure out, kind of get a sense of how tall this should be. Okay, so this is, let's scale this, let's scale this down some, like this. And it probably would be about like that, right? That would be the person that would, maybe a little bit smaller. And feel like something like that. So I'm just wondering if this is 6 feet or 8 feet, because if I rotated this around, then there's 6 feet. Maybe this should be like 8 feet. I'll join those. Maybe that's how it should be. Let me try this. Zero this out. There we go. Pop him back up. That might work. I'm going to scale it up just a little bit more. That might work. So as I said, I'm just trying to get a feel of the scale of this thing. Yeah, let's go with that. All right, so I don't need him anymore. Get him out of there. And let's bring this down and try and put it in place again. And try and get a sense of this. So maybe about like that. And grab these and pull them down. And probably about like that. Let's try that. Maybe. Yeah, okay. All right. I think I can work with that. Now, this thing. Let's make a cube and put this thing on right here. See how that works. It looks like it's right in the center of it. Just about. Okay. Gonna make another cube. Scale it way down. Scale it in the X. And put it in place over here. Something like this. Now, looks like it goes close to being in the middle there, like that. Okay. All right. I think I'd buy that. This piece right here, we're going to need that. So I'll just take this and duplicate it. And let's make this pretty small, like this. And then take this, and let's use this same thing, rotate it around the Y, RY90, and put this in place right in here. All right. See how this is going to work. I think we're going to need to scale that down a bit so it fits in there. Okay. This piece here should be about as big as that piece, just a little thinner, right? Let's try that. Just going to take this and duplicate it, move it in the X, and maybe make it just a little thinner, like that. Let's see. And we should move it down. Kind of like this. Now it doesn't look like there's anything underneath there, so let's get rid of this piece here, like that. And then move this down so it kind of fits. Looks like this should be a little bit taller, maybe. Yeah, it looks like this should be a little bit taller here. And maybe this one can now come up to there. Something like that. Okay. Still feel like this needs to be a little bit thinner, but that's okay. Okay. So just piecing it together, one piece at a time. And once we get this side in, we'll be able just to duplicate it and move it on over to the other side. So that's kind of what I used to preach in the classroom, is just take everything and break it down into its component primitive parts. and just build it up piece by piece. And after a while, you'll actually have the object that you're trying to make. Let's see. Oh, we're still talking about Cubing's laptop. Did you ever get it to work? Or did you have to get a new computer? Okay. Let's see. Let's get... I feel like this is too thick. I'm going to scale it in the X and the Y. So S, Shift Z. And now I can scale it in those two axes like that. And it looks like this isn't in the right place. So that's needs to be placed there. Okay. Move those up. All right. It works now. Sort of. Well, I hope you can get it going. Computers are great when they work. All right, I'm going to move these. Okay, so now this one needs to go over here and then all the way down to the ground like that. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn wire on for everything. So I'm going to select everything and press Alt, click for wire. So you can see it a little better. All right, so I've got these pieces together now. How about, I guess I need one in the middle. I'm going to need one in the middle here. And let's do that real quick. I can grab this and just bring it up and put it right in the middle here, like this. Okay. There's that. Then there are these pieces, these kind of straps and these bolts. I think I want those. I know I want these out here. Yeah, I probably need these too. Okay. So I think I can maybe use one of these for that. Let's try that. I'll just duplicate it. Move it out a smidge. Scale it in the Y. Scale it down quite a bit like that. And now let's put it, looks like here. Like this. Perhaps. Yeah, a little bit thicker, so I'm going to press Alt space, change to local, and now I can scale it in the Z like this. There we go. And then okay, so that's that piece. Now let's get this piece up here. I can't tell where it goes, so maybe it just doesn't matter. Oop, not that. Alt space global. Let's duplicate, move it up here, and I will rotate it like this and put it like that. So there we go there. Okay. We need to put them in place now. Let's go to the top view and put these in place. There's one. There's the other, I think. Yeah. Okay. What else do we need to do? We need to do the wheels and the bolts. And then I think it's just a matter of duplicating things over to the other side and then mirroring it over. So that's not bad. These casters or wheels, they are really hard to see what's going on here. Let me see if I can find an image of a caster. Is that what it's called? Caster? Caster wheels? Let's try that. Yeah, so I don't want it really complicated. This looks relatively uncomplicated. Let me see. This looks like there's that tube there. So this almost looks like it could be what we're looking for. It looks like it's a cylinder with an extrusion coming out of it there. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to save it to my reference images. And then that image isn't doing me any good. So I'll go ahead and open up a new UV editor window here. Just grab that little tab and pull it down. And then change it to a UV image editor. Now I can go open image and hopefully find that. No. Here it is. That image. Here we go. Okay, so there it is. So that's what I'm trying to do. It looks like they have a lock lever. Oh yeah, you're right, right here. Okay. Well, we could probably do that. That's probably just a very, like, just a cube. At least this is a pretty good image of it. Let's try this, and then maybe we can just add one on. Hello from Romania. Thank you for joining us. All right, let's try and get this going. I think what I'm going to do is begin with the cylinder here with the wheel, and then work on this part here. All right, so I'm going to first go, I think I'm going to go to a whole new layer, and I don't want to see anything else but what I'm working on right now. So I'll go to here, I'll grab a cylinder. I don't need 32 vertices, maybe, I don't know, 16? Is that too many? I don't know. Let's try it. I'm going to choose triangle fan. I'm going to spin it around the X, RX90. Scale it down quite a bit. Let's go with this for now and see how we do. Scale this in the Y, like that. And, okay, so there's the basis of the wheel, let's say. Now, how do I get this thing? I think what I want to do, I think what I want to do is create another cylinder. I'll give it 12 sides. I'm going to scale this down and kind of put it in place here first, like this. So what I want is something like this. It kind of looks like it goes like that, maybe even a little bit bigger, like this, just above that, like that. All right, I think that's gonna work, maybe. Let's scale it in the X and the Y. I feel like that's going to work like that. Take these down to about the center of the wheel like that. I'm going to have to cut that, which is fine. I can do that. Now let's go ahead and add a few edge loops to this and see if we can get it extruded here. I'll add an edge loop right up here, like this. And then what if I took these faces here and extruded these in the X, scaled them in the X, like that. What if I took these two edges? No. Let me isolate it with that division key and move these out quite a bit like this. Okay, so just want to get those in there like that. And then kind of feel like the whole thing needs to be bigger. Moved over. Now, what I need to do is cut this, or right there. Or just move these up. I'm not sure which. Let me see. Let me go into here. And where was that tool that just cut right through? Was it bisect? I think so. Oh, I got to select my faces. Okay, that's right. So I want to cut through these like this. Can I do that? Haha, okay, I can. Woohoo! Okay, let me try that again. I'm going to go, or what's knife project? Oh, I don't want to use other objects. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I'm going to go bisect, and I'm going to go way up here this time and take it right down to here, like that. Oh, okay. So now I should be able to take all of these and get rid of them. Like so. And I should be able to get rid of these guys down here. Like so. I can get rid of these. I don't need these. See if this is actually going to work. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Division key. Well, you know what I could do then is I could take out all those interiors and just add a little edge to it. Why don't I do that? I'm going to do that. Just take out all of these like this. Get rid of all this. There was probably an easier way to do this, but I'm almost there now, so I'm not going back now. Let's get rid of these. There we go. Okay. And now I just want to grab, just going to grab these faces here, or edges, excuse me. these edges here like that. And I'm just going to hit E and scale in the X and the Z, excuse me, and the Y. Oh, let's try that. Yeah, like that. Okay. I'll merge that with that. Ah! I hit Command M instead of Alt M. Nice. Okay, let's try that again. Alt M at last. Alt M at last. Okay. So I think we could probably go with that, because once we bring back that tire, yeah, okay. Now this part here, I really just need to grab these faces and maybe extrude, scale, extrude. Let's pull that up like that. And then I will just scale all the way in. And then I can drag, I can extrude this up, and this will be that pole going through there. Something like that. Okay. Let's put it on and see how it works. I'm going to go ahead and combine everything with Control J. Let's bring everything else back with, here it is. And let's see how it works just putting it in here. So let's scale it. Actually, let me move the cursor to this point and move the origin to that point as well. Origin to 3D cursor. So now when I scale, it scales from that point. There we go. So let's scale it down, move it over, and let's see, we could put it right. Whoa. Try that again. Right like that, maybe. I can spin it around the Z, RZ 180, so it faces that way like the image. It doesn't have to, of course, but let's try this. And we need to bring them into place in the top view. There we go. All right. I think we're getting somewhere with this. There's that. Now we need to put some bolts on here and on these places out here. All right, so let's try that. I'm going to go, I guess I'm just going to use once again a 6-sided cylinder. That seems to work pretty good for just a normal, you know, bolt kind of thing. So I'll do that. Cylinder, 6 sides here. And let me rotate it around the X. I'm going to get rid of, do these bolts go all the way through? They do. Okay, so I need both sides. I can do that. Let me try and get these in place here. So what I can do is, well, where do I want these? I want these on these things, don't I? So what I can do is just grab this edge, move the cursor to the selected, then take this and move the selected to the cursor. And that gets it pretty well in place. And then I can kind of do the actual work of scaling it and getting it in place here. So let's say it's about, these are actually pretty big, aren't they? There we go. And then I want to scale this out and have it go through. It looks like it goes through all the way. Okay, so there it is there. Now let's start putting them in place for the other places. So I'll just duplicate and move over here. Duplicate and move up here. And then down here too, I'll duplicate and move one right down here, try and get it in the center. Let's go ahead and pop the cursor into the, oh, I can't do it like that. I got to do it like that. Hit the L key, move the cursor to that right there. Then I can take this and move the selected to the cursor. Now I can take this and kind of scale it in the, well, I'll scale it down quite a bit. So that's not quite doing it for me there. Let me take this and move it so it fits like that. Let's do that. Not loving that. So what if I took this and just moved this up? Okay, that's better. Okay, so I don't need this right now. I can take this whole thing and move it over. There we go. Okay, so we are getting close to having it all in place here. Where did my, oh, it's too, there we go. There it is. That's better. Okay, now we are getting so close to being able to duplicate and mirror all this over now. There are a couple of bolts here. I don't know that I care that much about just these little things. One thing I was thinking is I kind of would like to curve these tops here. Let me do that before we go any further. So if I took these edges here and let me make sure that the scale has been applied. There we go. And now if we bevel and maybe add a couple of edges to the bevel. There we go. We've got kind of a curved edge there. I like that. I'll do the same thing here and get some bevel going in here. Just so those kind of curve. I don't think they'd look as good with just a straight edge there. There we go. All right. So we've got all of that. Anything else? Oh, that locking mechanism there. Do I care? Do I care? Do I need to care? That's the question. Let me see. Let's try this. Cursor to selected. Let's go ahead and make a cube. It's of course huge. What I'm thinking is it's just a cube scaled so really thin, like this, like this, and then rotated in the Y like that. You know what I mean? Just something very simple just to kind of hint at it is all I'm thinking. Doesn't really read though now. No, it doesn't. Let me move this out a little bit more. Like this. I don't want to get too much in there, but well, that kind of reads now. You know? I'll push it in a little bit like that and see how that reads. Yeah, that kind of reads. Alright, I'll do it. And I'll grab this and just move it straight over here like this. Okay. So now what I want to do is take all of this, I think, and combine it into one piece and then mirror it over to the other side. So if I take everything now and combine it all, this and this and this, and I'm going to hit Control J. So now that's all one piece. So let's take that pivot point and let's move it over to the 3D cursor. Cursor to, let's see. Oh, I got to do this. Excuse me. I'm moving the origin over to the 3D cursor there. That's right. Now we've taken that. I'll hit Control A and apply the scale. I'm going to now add a mirror modifier and mirror it in the Y, like so. There we go. There's the other side. Now, is there anything else I need to do here? I think that's good. Then what I'm going to do now is take all of this, right? So I'll take this and apply that. So that's all one object. I'll add this, Control J. I'll move this, the pivot point of all of this. Oh no, I got to do everything now. I got to take this, this, and this. Combine all this, move the pivot point to the 3D cursor. Now take all of this and mirror it in the X. Mirror X, and there we go. Okay. Yeah, I think I'd buy that. What do you think? Is that going to work? Let's bring back that 6-foot dude. Yeah, that kind of looks like a 6-foot dude. Or a 6... It kind of looks like a table that would be about that size if this were a 6-foot dude. Okay. So now what let's do is let's go ahead and apply the mirror modifier. The cursor is down there on the grid. That's good. Seems to be the right size. So let's bring a few things back here. Like this. Let's take it over here and see if it feels like it's the right size. Maybe. Yeah, that kind of feels like it's the right size. Okay. So also what I'm going to do is let me drop to the floor here. Shift F tab. There I am. WASD, and I can run around. And that looks about right, actually. You know? Okay. So that'll be our cafeteria table, although it looks like I need something in the middle there. You know, it's looking like these aren't connected. So I kind of think there'd be like a couple of hinges in here, because this whole thing folds up, or, you know, so it can then roll around. And I'm wondering if I took, let me just humor me here. I'm going to take the cursor and put it here and add a cylinder. 6 sides, triangle fan. Let me give it 10. And rotate it around the X. Scale it way down. And I want a couple of hinges in here, just so it looks like there's something holding it together, because it looked a little empty there. Like this. And bring that out like that. So now maybe what I can do is say this is the center hinge, and then let's duplicate and move this in the Y here, and then I will take this, no, let me take this one, there, and I'll duplicate this, and in the Y, X, Y, I'll put negative, and that will take it over there. Good. Okay. So it just gives a sense that there's something in the middle there, you know, that they are connected. So something like that. So now I need to take all of this, combine it all together with Control J, and there we go. Now, quickly, I'm going to duplicate this around the room. I think I want them like this. In other words, angled like this. Let me bring back the image of that original cafeteria here. I want it to look something like this. So now they've got theirs angled away from the cash registers, but I think I want mine like this. So yeah, let's try this. I'm gonna duplicate it and press, so, well, here, first I'm gonna hit G and Shift Z so I can slide it around, and maybe over here they're gonna need room, there'll be a door here, they'll need room to go through the line, and then something like this. I feel like they need to be a little bit farther apart like this. Let's kind of put them down the row like this, maybe. There we go. And then I'm going to move them here. Or should they go one against the other? This is kind of, it's not bad. I feel like maybe 4 rows instead of 3. So we go like this. And I'm just playing. I'm just trying to figure out how this should be configured. And I can do this in Unity as well. But I thought I'd just try and get a sense of how this is going to work here. And I do think I'll only take one of these into Unity and then duplicate them around again. But I wanted to try this. All right, let's try this. How much room do these kids need to get around each other? There, something like that, maybe. Maybe one more. Do I need another one? I could maybe. Let's try one more. Like this. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to hit Shift F again, Tab, and run around in here. So yeah, maybe this is kind of what I'm looking for here. Yeah, that looks sufficiently cafeteria-like, I think. Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to go with that, and then so the next time I'll work on a couple of other pieces, maybe these cash register things over here, maybe a few doors over here and windows out here. And then we'll begin working on the actual, like, you know, materials, textures. Well, UV. We got to UV map these things. So yeah, I think that's going to work. All right. Oh, another job for the array modifier. You are absolutely correct. Why didn't I think of that? But here's the deal. This is two things. One is this is a human placed things. So really, ultimately, I'm going to want to do things like, you know, oops. I'm going to want to do things like this, you know, because there's one thing I hate is seeing 3D being so on axis. It's so easy to duplicate and everything and make things on axis. I really like to give it that human feel with just things that aren't quite, you know, in line. So I'll be doing some of that probably in Unity. But yes, for anything where you're duplicating like that, the array modifier is awesome. It taught me a tremendous amount about Blender and Unity. Oh, great. Well, I'm so happy that the videos are helping. This is great. I appreciate it. Is this project like a completion for the old shots that you've made before? This project is, so I made an apartment scene for Blender 101. I made an alley scene here on YouTube, and I made a cargo hold on YouTube, and this is yet another scene from that same project. Yep. Oh, it lets you array with some variation. Ah, yeah. Very good. Yes. That's a good idea. I'll have to try that a little bit more. Are you making a school with this? Oh, an entire school? No, just cafeteria. Just cafeteria. That's all I need to do for this. All right. Well, I am going to head out, call it a day. I hope you have a good day, and hope to see you tomorrow, same time, and we'll continue working on the cafeteria here. Well, take care.